Hi, I'm Rosh from Energy Matters. Welcome to our podcast, Road to Zero, where we dive headfirst into all things renewable. Join us as we chat with industry experts, tech specialists, and some of your favorite TV and radio personalities, asking the renewable energy questions that you want answers to. Our goal, a zero carbon future. Today, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome my good buddy, James Treble, interior design expert and host of Renovate or Rebuild. How are you, James?
I'm well, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. All the better for seeing you.
Thank you. You just have to forgive me. There's a little bit of a lag. So I've arrived just this morning up at Coffs Harbour. We're filming for 2 days up here, and I've just pulled into a motel. So it's painted brickwork behind me, but it's not so bad. And the humidity is amazing. But, you know, it's a beautiful part of the world to be in. I even drove past the Big Banana, which, you know, if I'm going to be flying in, flying out, the holiday's done like
that. Mate, you can't go to Coffs without seeing the Big Banana. James, you've obviously had an awesome career today. And before Renovate or Rebuild, what were you doing before then? So I believe you have been on TV for some time.
Yeah. So I've been on Australian television now for 11 years, which is quite overwhelming. I worked on a show called The Living Room on Network 10. I did that for 7 seasons. I was there from the beginning when the show started in its infancy, and it was an utterly exciting time when a new show is starting, very much like what we're going through with Renovate or Rebuild, to be honest. This fresh energy and lots of new ideas and a really good cast and crew. And look, I had an utterly amazing time on that for 7 seasons. I used to do, I joined the team at Sky News. I was a guest on Sky News Real Estate, which was a 6-hour live TV show every Saturday. And then it just morphed into the fact that I think I talk too much and show my passion about houses, Rosh. One of the ladies left and I replaced her as co-host. So I was co-host of Sky News Real Estate, which became Your Money channel for 2 years, which was 6 hours live TV every Saturday. And wow. It sounds overwhelming, but I think we just had such a tight crew and it was exciting, and I had an earpiece in my ear, and you just have to keep going when things are live. And fortunately, with my upbringing, I was articulate enough to explain my thoughts on houses that we were looking at and interviewing people. And I think when you're passionate about something that you do, mate, I like to think it shows, particularly in Australian television. You know, we are pretty authentic people, and I think that's how our television is as well. And then I work on Open Homes Australia as well with a great production company, and that's what I'm up here filming right now. And that led to an opportunity with Renovate or Rebuild, which I actually came on board as a design judge in the original concept of the show, and then just one thing led to another, and then I was asked to become host of the show. So it's been an utterly exciting process, and great to work with some people who were already my friends and other people that we knew each other's faces on TV, and now we've sort of become really close friends. So we've been pretty lucky, as you know, with the people that we get to work with on the show.
Oh, very much so. I mean, the cast and the crew are absolutely incredible. And it actually opened my eyes and blew my mind as to what really happens in front of the camera and behind the camera and behind the scenes. I mean, that's when you really get to understand the true character of the people you're working with. And there was absolutely no difference. I mean, really, the personalities that we work with are so authentic, and I think that's what completely blew my mind. So you've certainly picked a good team to work with.
Yeah, look, it's lucky. For me, I fell into TV because I was able to, as I said, my dad jokes, my son thinks I'm funny, my daughter doesn't, works well for Australian TV. But I fell into that particularly with Sky News, where I was the only non-journalist working for the channel, which looking back now was really quite amazing, was because my qualifications are in design. So I started life as a real estate agent. I loved houses. Right. I've been out of Lego. I've still got all my Lego. I loved them. I knew where we were going as kids out the windows by passing this house or that house. I just love space and housing. And I went straight into real estate when I left school. I talked too much to do valuation. My sister was a rural property valuer. And so I'm a qualified real estate agent. And throughout my 20-something year now, I'm nudging 30 career in building and design industry. I'm a qualified interior designer, qualified colour consultant. I've worked as a kitchen designer and a bathroom designer for major Australian brands, worked with some of the largest builders in the country. So although some people perhaps know me just as a TV presenter, I'm known in the industry for being a professional, designer. One of my houses. I sound really Skydy, but it's exciting. I create display homes from one of my project builder, Edenbray, and won display home of the year with them just 2.5 weeks ago at Master Builders. So there's a real pressured side of what I do, as well as the fun side of TV, which is presenting that knowledge sometimes in a light-hearted way, to people at home and people who love DIY and people who aren't trained professionals but just love their homes and want to enjoy the spaces that they live in. And that's an utterly exciting thing that I get to do.
Mate, that's absolutely incredible. I mean, just really very quickly, James, how did you go from being a qualified real estate agent to Sky News? I mean, what happened?
Well, all of the opportunities came through from various contacts. I was working on a living room and running my own design studio on the side. I've worked for some big brands, but I've run my own business now for coming on to 22 years. So it's from the year 2000. And I actually had a good colleague, a good friend. My phone is beeping in the background, sorry.
That's okay.
Who had contacts, and that led to the living room. And then on the living room, a good colleague, Cherie Barber, Renovate for Profit, people might know her. We're really good friends. Self-made lady, very clever. Working also in that same space that I work in, had an opportunity, was doing things on Sky News, and my name was put up as a guest. So because I went on there, and then they go, oh my God, you can, I talk a lot, as everyone knows, but I like to give quality as well as lots of quantity. Then it just led to the position where I came in and I'd do a segment on stairs, or a segment on garage doors, or a segment on kitchen bench tops, and things that people wanted to know about. And that led to the opportunity to replace one of the ladies to be a host. So for anyone watching this, and I also love podcasts, mate, and I listen to them in the car and I watch them. I think if you find something that you're passionate about, is that it tends to take in hand that you will do it more because you love it. And the more you do it, if you dedicate yourself to continually growing on the knowledge that you have already and understanding that you don't know everything, especially in interior design and building design, it's ever changing, then it's quite exciting to continually stay on top of new trends. So that ability to learn and adapt really opened up opportunities for me with TV, and hopefully continues to, I've stopped aging, Rosh, which is really important in Australian TV. So many years ahead.
I'm waiting to see your beard get as great as mine. So far, it's just stopped there, and it's looking pretty good.
I've got it here. No, I don't dye my hair. I keep getting asked if I dye my hair, but maybe I look like it. I'm just not tanned because we're having a dreadful, dreadful summer in New South Wales, as much of the country with it. I keep blaming Nina, this lady Nina, who's giving us this terrible weather. So we just need to be. Yeah.
Mate, good stuff. So look, you've covered a lot of content, which is fantastic. So if you were just reaching to anyone that's out there listening today, thinking, who's James Treble? Who is he now? What three things would you say to describe who you are today?
Look, I'm very passionate housing designer, interior designer. I believe utterly that the spaces we live in, what we choose to call home, really should not just even reflect who we are, but should reflect the best use of the space that they're in. And it's not about throwing lots of money at it. I think it's about understanding the space, understanding your budget, understanding your location wherever you are around the country, and making it work for how you feel. Because those rooms that we wake up in, mate, alter how our day feels. And you don't wear the same clothes every day. Your house doesn't have to look the same every day, and you change and evolve. Your home should too. And I think that means you have a good start to the day, you have a good day, you have a good week, you have a good life. So I think the power of the house is important. I get to work in media, which I absolutely love. And I know I'm not giving you three clear words, but the media is exciting because you can reach into people's lounge rooms and talk to them, and get them excited about things that they could be doing with their home. And I don't think there's really an excuse to have an ugly house. And it doesn't mean that you have to have amazing taste. It's just that you can make it look the best that you think that it can, based on your colours and your culture and how you like to live, you and your family. And then I like to educate as well. So, I have a practical design online course, practicaldesign.com.au, and it was an exciting opportunity to put a lot of knowledge into passing on all of the practical experience that I've gained over the years. There's many people out there who, make houses, or like paint floors, decks white, and create spaces that look great in a magazine, but they're not real to live in. And I just wanted to create practical spaces. So I get to work in design schools and TAFEs and pass on my knowledge to the next generation of designer, whether they're 19 or whether they're reevaluating their lives and they're in their mid 40s or 50s. It's still an exciting time to pass on knowledge. So as you can see, mate, I get very excited when I talk about housing.
You certainly do, and you're very, very good at it as well, James. I've been blown away by, how you were on Renovate and Rebuild, but then also more recently, filming Open Homes Australia. I mean, we had a really great day in Sydney, not so, only a few days ago. And we obviously had caught up the night before and enjoyed that night. And then just to be on set the next day and, the ease and grace in which you just adapted to create yourself and just execute to perfection was absolutely, it was amazing. Like, I was absolutely blown away with it. So,
yeah, you're very kind, mate. Look, I was always the kid who would never shut up at school. So I think the teachers thought if he's never going to shut up, we should give him a microphone and put him in front of the school. So even in primary school, I was in the school plays and all that stuff, and in high school. And so I'm used to it. My father was the public speaker. He was the MC at most weddings we went to, my dad. And, bless him, he passed away when we were 24. But I think you find your path. And even my kids now, we've got a 17-year-old son and a 16-year-old daughter, and they're learning who they are and finding out their strengths. And everybody watching, we can't all be the next person. There was only one Elvis, and we don't need another one. We need another new version of you. So for everyone watching, whatever it is that you're passionate about, mate, like you're very authentic too, Rosh, with a compliment to you. You're engaging when you speak about what you love, and you're into sustainability and how we live, and you've got an environmental point of view, but you also understand how that translates to how people live in their space and their wallet and all these benefits. So because you're passionate about it, people see that and it catches on, and then you think, hang on, I love what this person's speaking about. So just be true to yourself, whatever it is. And, if you're going to clean windows, clean them in a really great way and love it and whistle. And you'll probably be incredibly financially well off because you clean windows well and you do a great job, and, you can clean windows everywhere and be loaded. It's not, I'd have more respect for that than somebody who's doing a really high-end job on a massive wage that hates their job, because I think life is short and you've got to enjoy what you do.
Mate, that's awesome. And thank you for that. It's absolutely brilliant, mate. And thanks for the compliment. I heard it, and I appreciate it. What I'd like to do now is quickly play a clip from Renovate and Rebuild. So this was episode 8, and it's really a segment about habitat for humanity, where a beautiful couple, Warren and Joanne, lost their property to the bushfires. Yeah. And we were lucky enough to have a whole bunch of our partners come to the table with a whole bunch of equipment, and we installed a solar power system. So this is James, this is you chatting to the installer of the system, which was Sam from Smart Energy Answers. Yeah. And there's also a little bit of me just afterwards talking about what happened and how it all came together.
And in conjunction with Energy Matters Rewards program, we've also got Sam and the team from Smart Energy Answers installing a solar system and battery. Well, Sam, I can see a lot going on behind me. And with the name Smart Energy Answers, you've obviously got the answers for energy. Tell us what's going on.
Okay, so Smart Energy Answers here has installed a solar system, a 3 kilowatt solar system, complete with an inverter and battery. Mm-hmm. That is to store the energy that the solar panels are going to produce there. And we're fantastic to be part of this effort.
It is an exciting time, mate, and we're excited to have you here as well. The family are going to be coming back very soon to have a look at what's being created here. I mean, this is a cosy home, but this is a home for them to live in and to be able to bridge the gap while they build their new space. We're excited to have you on board, buddy, and I think they're going to be elated with their zero energy bills.
Fantastic, fantastic. We're very glad to be part of this, and looking forward to it.
So many people lost their properties during those bushfires, which was terrible. And we heard about Warren and Joanne's individual situation, and we just really wanted to help out. From a solar power perspective, we had a look at the property itself. Smart Energy Answers did a site inspection and calculated that we could fit a 3 kilowatt system on that roof. Based on that, Longy Solar came to the party. They've got some new technology, some incredible technology, and our good mates at FEMA have supplied an inverter and battery. So at least this way, Warren and Joanne can not only use the electricity that's being produced during the daytime, but all the excess electricity can be stored to be used at night time and early morning. There you go.
That was such an amazing experience, Rosh. And when I drove up there, it's just on looking from Sydney towards the Blue Mountains, it's sort of in the top right. And the landscape there is so utterly beautiful and something that we all know. But, we forget in Australia what happened. It's 2 years ago that so much of the East Coast was decimated by bushfire. And we sort of forget because we've all been overwhelmed with COVID and all the effect on our lives. And yet it changed people's lives. And what happened there, which was quite a sad situation, and unfortunately it happens, is that part of the bushfires were burning back to clear space while they thought that they could, in anticipation of bad bushfires coming. And the burning back burned badly on them, and that actually created the fire which ran up the valley and took out the houses. So it was a really scary scenario of people trying to do the right thing and nature just taking over. The great thing about what you guys did there and Habitat for Humanity giving them the dwelling on site was the biggest connection that they were both speaking about was to get themselves back on their land. By living in this small, it's basically like a small demountable building that's been cleaned up. It's been reused. It'll be taken when they're finished with it and given to someone else. So I love that recyclable, reusable process. But it's a basic property. It's nothing really flash inside, right? But they painted it up. They've cleaned it up for them. You put the solar panels on the roof there, which and Sam did a great job. The guys were great on site. And Longdeep put the beautiful system there. And what I loved, mate, when I was speaking to Sam, and we didn't get it all on camera, was that system works for them now. But when they get their new home built, which they now can live there and be back with their community and back with their birds and their plants and their animals, that as they're all coming back and regenerating itself, the Australian bush is famous for that. And Australians are too, is that system can be taken off that demountable building and added onto their new dwelling and extended upon. So that system also is going to be able to be adaptable and added on. And I thought that was utterly exciting, because I think that, solar is such a big part of what I do professionally with my clients as well. It was something that was really bespoke, and I think it's ramping up so quickly. It's definitely even the last few years now to become something that people are just understanding and seeing the huge benefits of having it. And then they love the environmental benefits as well. But really, it's a financial one.
No, absolutely. Look, it really is. And it was just absolutely, like, first and foremost, I mean, I was gutted I couldn't actually be there in person to witness just even the look on their face when they first walked down and saw the demountable home all souped up in the solar power system. So it must have been a beautiful thing to be a part of. But we're just so happy to actually be able to give them that freedom,
Well, look, I just think that the understanding the story, when we there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. And I actually don't like the word sympathy. I think feeling sorry for somebody sometimes is a bit patronizing. Empathizing is something bigger. And to understand how they were living and what they were going through was so important. It transformed their lives. Luckily, they all got out. They were all safe. They followed the right procedures. They were very logical in what they did. Now, as they spoke so clearly, really with not a lot of emotion, they've had a horrible time. To be back now on site just felt like, okay, now the mending is starting and now we're getting our lives back again. And now we're going to build a better version of this house, more suitable for its location, more ready if something happens like this again. And to then be able to also build the home and embed things into this home for the future. That's the great thing about solar, right? People think that it's this shiny thing on the roof, and technology is changing so fast. I know with my clients, when we're looking at a panel, what they're looking at when we're talking about the process during the selection process for their house won't be the same panel they'll necessarily get on their roof, because the technology is changing so fast, and that's utterly exciting. The panels that they can put on their roof now are capturing what Mother Nature is giving us. It's free, and there's a cost for that. Now, forgive me, Rosh, because I know pricing changes around the country, but roughly for me, when I understand it, it's roughly $1,000 for a kilowatt, give or take. Right. You get some rebates from the government. It's about $12K for a 12 kilowatt system, $8K roughly, okay, as a general.
Yeah.
Then you have to work out how much of my energy bill now am I using. And with new technology, our kids are on everything computer and gadgetry. We've got energy consuming things. If you have a pool, if you have, your washing machines and dishwashers, all these things take energy. And if you can be using those during the day and you can put them on timers and using the sun, even without a battery, then you're all of a sudden going to save so much energy that your $1,100, $1,200 quarterly energy bills can be reduced down to the hundreds. And then all of a sudden you think, right, now that saving that I'm making each year means it takes me so many years to pay for this system. What other things can you put in your house that you're going to get money back from? I design beautiful kitchens, mate, like beautiful. I love kitchens and I love tiles, and I'm going to put beautiful taps and bench tops. And of course, they're going to add value to the house, but they're not going to return a monetary return like solar can. And so after you've paid them off, then forevermore thereafter, you're ahead. And then if you're clever, I think, and Sam spoke about this too, you almost have to mentally think, well, let's just keep paying that same money into a jar instead of into the energy companies. And then all of a sudden that can be used to increase your house value, or I don't know, do something with your family, or maybe get the electric car, or and add a battery and use that power so you can use it at night and to charge your car. I think it's really exciting where we're at within the development of technology.
No, absolutely. And look, you're so eloquent when talking about the industry and the technology, and it really is. I mean, like it's an absolute no-brainer. But I think one of the biggest concerns are people don't always believe or understand how affordable it is and how affordable it can be. And now the return on investment on solar power alone is ridiculously fast. Yes, batteries, potentially is not a financial question. It's more about, do the right thing and, get off grid and as off grid as you can and be as carbon, low carbon as you possibly can do. But certainly it's accessible and available for almost every single person. I mean, do you see working in this industry, James? I mean, you make recommendations for solar power to almost all of your clients. Do you really see yourself spending more time working in a closer level in this industry, like getting amongst renewables?
Oh, 100%. I don't actually just recommend it to some of my clients. I do recommend it to all. So I've got a range of builders that I work with, as well as clients who are referred to me. I've had, look, as some industries were decimated, entertainment and food services, building industry ramped up during COVID, and I've honestly been working 13-day fortnights for most of the year. So I'm extremely overwhelmed and really very happily looking forward to a spiritual recharge time over the festive season. With my clients, I tend to be building homes that are now higher end homes. They're big homes, and Australian homes in general are larger. So I work with homes that are being new builds. That's a big chunk of what I do. And then I also, of course, deal with renovation. And renovation is different because sometimes in budgets per square metre, people perhaps have more money to spend per square metre because they're going up or adding rooms on, or facelifting a house. Whereas when you're building a new house, everything is being added at once. So financially, they're two different levels of investment, if you can get what I'm saying. All of them, they see value in the solar because they're understanding that now is the time while we're doing this, it makes sense. When you're building a house, unlike other things, you might, buy a great pair of shoes, buy some cool clothes, go on a holiday. Those things are great experiences, but they're not going to give you a financial return. They can give you knowledge and wonderful and maybe a few wrinkles and great times, but when you're spending money on a house, this is an investment for the future. And if you're getting something that you can invest technology in that's going to be financially rewarding, which is what solar is about, of course you've got to combine this with clever things. You need to understand passive design. You need to understand the direction of the sun. You need to understand, the windows and the thermal things that you're building your home with. These all are natural to look after, but where the energy source is coming from is one that can be retrofitted, just like I think of adding solar panels when you're renovating is like the Back to the Future car, and it was all attached onto the DeLorean. When you're building a home from scratch, of course, all the piping and things that run down into the house, into the battery, they can all be embedded internally in the wall. So sometimes during new builds, not that a renovation of solar panels on a renovation is by any means ugly, it's streamlined, but during a new construction, those things can be embedded into the structure and perhaps a little bit better thought of. It's the perfect time to do it because all of this now money that you're spending to have this beautiful home, you now also can enjoy it. You can turn the lights on. If you choose to have air conditioning, I like ceiling fans and air conditioning because I can't sleep with air conditioning on, but in really hot parts of the country or really cool parts, I think that if you use the power from the sun to put on heating or cooling at the right times of the day and the house is thermally well designed as well, then I think that you're getting a win-win of being able to use both lots of technology. And then if you put power on, you're not freaking out about, oh gosh, what's this going to cost, or worried about it because the power's coming for you. I think it's a win-win.
Mate, I couldn't say any better than that myself, James. I love it. And final thing I want to ask you, I mean, Edgy Matters, we stand for a zero carbon future. I mean, that's our why. What's small changes do you think anyone could implement just to move towards zero carbon?
I think that we're at an exciting time where Australians in general like to think that we're well connected with nature. We have so much nature at our doorstep. Essentially Australia is I think of it like as a big donut, and we live on the outside of this donut, and we've got so much still raw nature around us, even with the amount of development and housing estates and all these things happening. So we're very lucky. But to be able to be connected with the space and enjoy a home without any worry in the back of your head about how you're going, that's really about the decisions that you make in how you construct or renovate a home, and then how you choose to use the power and function within it. If you're retrofitting a home, then you want to essentially watch the airflow of the transference of heat from inside to out and outside to in, and that covers summer and winter. Those things are vitally important as far as understanding air gaps on doorways, the thickness or style of your glass. We used to have to think about going expensively to double glazing to try to achieve that. Now you don't. Energy efficient glass is far better at stopping the UV, stopping heating and cooling, and the price differences of that is not as immense as it was, because like technology and availability of products, it changes over time and it becomes more affordable. When you're looking at insulation, that's utterly important. That's like a doona that you put over yourself in winter. You use a lighter doona as the summers change, and then the doona comes out and the cover stays on in summer to keep that nice, patterned doona and make the bedroom look beautiful. Aesthetics are important, but you don't need the same thickness. And that's the same as how I describe to my clients that thickness of doona process of winter to summer, locations that I might think of a house that's coastal as opposed to one up in the mountains. So that's an important way to understand how you put a home together. How you then consume your energy, well, that's of course what you guys deal with. And I love that you are operating a business that's national, that people can come to you and then you say, well, here's what we think you should do. And in your area, these people are the ones to speak to, because that is ultimately passing on to small business as well. So I think that's, the backbone of Australian business is small. I'm a small business. I have, 2 staff. Is the backbone of our business is to support other small businesses. And I love that you do that, mate. I'm not giving, I'm giving you a plug, but I think it's utterly important rather than just everything being a big multinationals. And so the energy consumption of where it's coming from. It's about thinking smarter, and it's not about throwing money at everything. And what I like is I was a Boy Scout, where am I? I'm on the wrong side there. I am Boy Scout. I was a Boy Scout, and the big motto of scouting is be prepared. When I meet with clients who have got images of what they want the house to look like, they've thought about what their flooring's going to be, they understand the orientation of their block. When they're prepared, then they are better prepared to allow me to use my expertise to help them. And that's the best thing for you. If people are watching them and preparing how they want to live, understanding their block or where they're planning to buy, and thinking about how they use their home, when they're going to be at home, what their energy consumption is going to be like, and their longevity of how they're going to be in that home, then I think that utterly prepares them to understand how to use your knowledge in this case to then make their space a beautiful home to live in that feels good, but also one that is not a waste of money to actually enjoy, because otherwise you're just spending money to try to enjoy your house all year round. And how long are you going to stay there if that's the case? It's not a clever investment. So planning is utterly important. Do your homework. The better prepared people are, I think, the better results they're going to get in their housing.
Mate, that's absolutely fantastic. I can see a number of our viewers watching this today are going to be watching it and then rewatching it, taking notes, and then going back to those notes during the.
Well, you're all going to be joining Scouts and creating their lookbooks of their new houses. Look, it's exciting, mate. I'm passionate about what I do. I know that. I know it's catchy because I love it. I can, live in. Tim Kind, who used to be my producer on Sky News, said, James, I can put the cameras on you when the camera drops out because it's live, and you can talk about a benchtop for an hour and make it sound utterly exciting. That's something that I'm able to do, but that's able to pass on knowledge to people. And we should be excited about the houses we live in, Rosh. Like, we should be going, right. My home is 3-bedroom and it's a simple L-shaped dining, and it's here, and it doesn't look like that massive house that my friends have or that massive house down the street. And guess what? It shouldn't, because it's your home and you should be utterly proud of it. But how you enjoy that home, how you spend your money in enjoying that home and enjoying it all year round, that's what you should be considering and spending your money on, not just things that aren't going to basically, give you no return. Don't be overwhelmed looking at everyone else. Think about what you can do in your space. And it's a good investment, guys, because when you do want to sell your house, and we sell houses in Australia more than anywhere else, when the agent comes along, they're going to say to me when I turn up, and they're going to go, what's this house got? Well, guys, it's got this kilowatt solar system, and it's got this, and it's got this insulation and everything. These are all the points that they're going to talk about now, as much as they're going to say timber floors and beautiful stone benchtop and amazing appliances. So these are selling points on your house. I think it's just the natural way that we've been able to go, and it's utterly exciting as we get ready for, the craziness of 2022.
Absolutely. And James, just to finish up with, what's next for you? I mean, what would you like to be doing more of from 2022 moving forward?
Yeah, look, I'm actually in the process of creating a bit of a podcasting myself, and I've got a whole web of people. I might have to be I might put you on the other side of the camera, mate.
Awesome. I'd love to do
I get to work with people that I've got quite a broad audience who follows me, and the things that I get to do, I'm utterly humble at the processes. Renovate or Rebuild and Open Homes Australia, two great shows that I get excited to work on. We've got the practical design course that's launched. We're launching into a property. We've got a property that we're going to be renovating next year, and we'll be filming that. So how that goes onto socials or onto mainstream media, we're still in the processes of talking about. I'm actually hosting 3-day events. I'll be doing Sydney Home Show twice next year, Melbourne Home Show twice next year, Brisbane Home Show once. I'll be off to Milan in April for the design fair, so I bring back knowledge then. So stay tuned on my socials. I share with you all the trends that are happening. We were booked to go in 20, but we couldn't obviously go. And then I'll go back to the tile fair. So I do the International Tile Fair, which is in Bologna at the end of September. I've gone there 7 years in a row. I take my partner, we go and visit our family in Italy and make it a tax-deductible trip. Eat lots of cheese, but we walk so much I lose weight, so it's a fantastic trip. And then see what's happening in the world of tiles as well. So, mate, it's all about housing for me, but stay tuned, and I look forward to working with you on next season of Renovate or Rebuild. I know we'll be filming throughout the year. We all need a rest at the moment because it's been crazy, but yeah, I think we just all need to be positive, guys. We've all had a scary, really hard time. The whole world has. We've all been in it. It's not been isolated. Every single person's been affected, but I think adversity can be turned around into creativity. I think if you've been knocked about a bit, you think, what worked, what doesn't work, what do I like, what don't I like? Change your life, change your house, do those things, and use all of this negative experience and turn it into something positive. And that's definitely what I've done through my business and through all of my platforms, through media and social media. And mate, I get to work with some great people, including yourself, some crazy people off the show. And fortunately, we all get to work as friends. So look, it's been a really, really big year, but I'm so looking forward to 2022 after a little break.
Absolutely. Well, look, thank you very, very much for joining us today. You've been an absolute legend. And look, I can't wait to work with you more next year.
Same, mate. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the very best, everyone. I'm not sure when this will be airing, but if you've had I hope you all have a great Christmas and great season break. And if it's after that you see this, then get motivated, guys, and start planning what you can do and what you can change about how you live and yourself for 22, because I personally think that 2022 is an exciting year of change. And I think that, we've all got to grab it by the handlebars and steer it where we want to take it. So good luck, everyone.
Legend. Thanks, James. All the best, mate.
Cheers.
All right, guys. So just to finish up, before we finish, remember you can get up to 3 free solar quotes and a free energy bill comparison via our website, energymatters.com.au. Please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a follow on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn pages. Thank you once again for your time and watching this today. All the best.